What's going on? What's going on, everyone? How is everyone doing today? We got a special guest. We got Mr. Eagles Powerhouse Nation. Introduce yourselves. Introduce yourself. I put his link in the chat. I mean, in the description. So if you want to go check this man out on YouTube, on Twitter, anything, I put his pages in the description. So go check him out. But introduce yourself, my guy.
All right. My name is PowerHouse, and as he said, Eagles Powerhouse Nation is my channel. Um, all Philadelphia Eagles. I I talk about everything. So I'm here for the long run. I'm trying to be like Big Play Slay when I grow up. So I'm trying to we gonna get going. We gonna get going.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. We're gonna ask you a couple questions. How you feel about the Eagles? But I'm gonna ask you one question about because I've been seeing it going around for Eagles fans. But how did you become an Eagles fan?
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
How did you become an Eagles fan?
Oh, I was born in Philly, South Philly, born and raised, and the whole family is Eagles fans. So living, especially living in South Philly, right near the stadium. It's hard not to be an Eagles fan.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
man. Yeah, but I'm actually let's go into the birds, man. We got a lot to talk about, so let's jump into it. But this has happened. This been talking about this entire off season. Zach Ertz. What are your thoughts on Zach Ertz situation, and do you think he'll be traded or cut or something like that?
um, I feel like Zach Ertz should have. I feel like Zach Ertz should have been let go before. Now I know that's probably not what people want to hear, but he should have been let go before when his trade value was high. And because Goddard was producing at the number 2 spot since he had came in, and he only been getting better. So I don't see where um, Zach Ertz eating up all of that money as he's getting older. We should have got rid of him earlier, and we probably could have got like a first round easily because he was top 5 for sure. It was at one point it was Kelsey, Kittle, and then people were talking about Zach Ertz, and now it's a lot of people that came into the league since then that's giving him a run for his money. Even the Washington tight end, I forget his name. He's even giving him a run for his money. The Packers tight end too. Like it's a lot of people now. His value isn't the same because there's a lot of young guys out there that's looking like how Goddard was when he came in. So as far as now, we need that 8.5 that we would save if we got rid of him to get a corner.
Yeah,
And if we trade for Xavier Howard, for example, then that would be good to use that for the first year. Otherwise, we gonna be trying to bank on the Dolphins taking most of his cap for this year in order for us to get him. It's that's too much dependent on another team. So
yeah, I agree, man. Like we could save $8.5 million in cap, but our front office don't want to understand that.
yeah,
So it's kind of funny because we could have done this a long time ago. So it has me worried that if we don't trade like a guy like Fletcher Cox right now, when his value's at all time high, if he's not going to do good this year, we're going to regret it next year, like the Earth situation. So I don't want the same thing to happen again. So I hope we
Fletcher, yeah,
yeah.
Fletcher Cox is even more blatant because if I feel like I'm sorry to cut you off too, but
You're good. You're
I
good. You're the
feel like
special guest. Yeah, you're the special guest. So you get all the get all the
but I feel like Cox is even more blatant because look back 2 years ago when we should have traded Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz was at the top. Fletcher Cox been kind of regressing. Like when we talk about how we were comparing Fletcher Cox to Aaron Donald and stuff like that, but people forget that was so long ago. Brandon Graham has been outproducing Fletcher Cox for a while now. Like we shouldn't even be talking about Fletcher Cox anymore as far as production goes. We should be talking about Brandon Graham. When Josh Sweat gets in place of Barnett, he produces more than Fletcher Cox, in my opinion. So we should be talking about him more. Like we should have got rid of Fletcher Cox a long time ago. Like after the like all right, after the Super Bowl, you try to keep the same roster, but after that first year after the Super Bowl, he was still worth something. Now Fletcher Cox, you might get less back for him than you would for Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, if it's crazy because he's a D tackle, so unless he's not Aaron Donald, then you might even get like a seventh for him if he's not good this year. We might regret it, but hopefully something gets done between Ertz, because Ertz and Fletcher Cox, we all love them. I never want to see them get traded. It would be too sad for them to get traded, but yeah, I hope we don't get rid of them, but we got to at a point. But what's one breakout player on offense for you, and what's one on defense?
Breakout player on offense. I feel like this is kind of a surprise breakout because all right, so all right, can I say two people? All
Yeah,
right, so
you said two.
all right, I'm gonna go with the obvious one first. Miles Sanders is definitely going to be a breakout person because just with the scheme change and with everybody like you hear Nick Sirianni kind of, we still don't know the scheme for sure, but you hear Nick Sirianni talking about how he going to use wide receivers. They don't have a set position and stuff like that. Everybody moving around, and then you look at the dynamicness of each person, everybody individually. Like Quez Watkins, he's the second one. I'm gonna get to him, but the Devontae Smith, obviously dynamic. Jalen Rager, he was lazy last year. He better clean that one up, but he can be dynamic alongside Devontae Smith, where it's kind of like a Waddle Smith combination, except probably not as good like as Waddle. Maybe as good. I don't know. He kind of didn't. He half assed last year, but yeah, just I think Miles Sanders with a running quarterback now as opposed to a stationary one like Carson Wentz after the injury, um, he's going to end up benefiting. And then Quez Watkins is the one where I think people are sleeping on because I do think that people keep saying Travis Fulgham for number 3. I think Quez Watkins has a real shot at being the number 3 also because the Eagles like familiarity, and which one looks more familiar to you, like as a comparison to Deshaun Jackson, Quez Watkins, or Travis Fulgham? We are not really trying to recreate Alshon Jeffrey. It doesn't seem that way, even though they got Trayvon Grimes and stuff like that. But the one that was producing the most in my recent memory is Deshaun Jackson, and Alshon Jeffrey was a compliment to Deshaun Jackson during the Super Bowl year, like how Macklin was like as a
To
compliment.
Djax. Yeah.
So I think Quez Watkins should actually be the third, but it wouldn't go wrong with Travis Fulgham either.
Absolutely, man. Watkins, I feel like he has like that it factor, and he can just explode on any given day. Like you saw that Cardinals game, that one little like breakout explosiveness, he can go a long way.
Yeah,
So I expect high from him.
yeah. That
But
that move in the Cardinals game remind me of
mhm.
what Aguilar did, except he was faster than Aguilar. So like you know how Aguilar always caught it, and then he do a run around and start
Yep,
going.
yeah.
Sometimes he'll get past people. Sometimes he won't. Quez Watkins just made it look like you ain't never going to catch him if he do that to you. So I like it.
Yeah, him and John Hightower are like those speed demons on our team. They can just beat you down the field. So, you got one on defense?
All right. So I haven't heard this before, but I don't see why not. Eric Wilson. Now, Eric Wilson, we ain't have a good linebacker since, and I know people might have a little scratch their head when I say this, but Jordan Hicks, when healthy, Jordan Hicks was a hell of a linebacker when healthy, like, but he was injury prone as hell, and then suddenly he left us and he got better like everybody else. But um, Eric Wilson, I don't recall ever seeing him with an injury prone status on him, but he was producing way more than Jordan Hicks was for the time that he filled in. Um, and he's clearly the number one. And I do think the linebackers are going to be used more this season than in previous seasons. So he's due for that. And he got a good supporting cast. Everybody not really realizing how good this linebacking core is.
Absolutely, man. I agree. I think Wilson. Well, his device disconnected. Dang, his device disconnected. Device not connected. So he has. There he is.
All right, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. Um,
My bad. Somebody called me. Somebody called me. I tried to silence it, but
mhm,
apparently, I guess when you get a call, all that happens.
yeah,
But
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
but
my bad. But what I was
mhm,
saying was, he
mhm.
people are underestimating the linebacking core also, where um, Singleton was a definitely a good tackler. I think he's gonna be a good blitzing linebacker. Um, Bradley, um, we is yet to see whether he'll be good or not. T.J. Edwards is good. He just wasn't being used enough. T.J. Edwards is good, so Eric Wilson got a good supporting cast. And from what I hear in the training camp, he's actually been commanding the linebackers already. Like he taking the charge for the linebackers. So he do. I think he do.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like Wilson and Edwards, I know a lot of people are saying Edwards is going to be cut off the team because I don't know, where they getting that assumption from, but I could see it, but at the same time I can't because I feel like they need to give Edwards a shot, and it's going to be a competition at linebacker.
Edwards was the best one on the team until Wilson came. Man, I know people going to say, well, Singleton did good. Edwards didn't just get enough playing time. When you put Edwards in the game and actually start him like you did Singleton, it's no comparison. He's an all around good linebacker. And then Eric Wilson came in.
So do you think Wilson's going to be like the best linebacker in that group out of all of them this year
Yeah,
by
for
far?
sure.
Yeah. All right.
And then it's T.J.
Yeah.
Edwards, and then it's Singleton.
Mhm.
As far as everybody else, I got to see them play in order to know whether they are going to be good. I think they got potential. Davion
Mhm.
Taylor, I think he got potential, but he might not make the team. Like it's just I got to see who make the team, who do good in training camp.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like Bradley and Taylor, they both got potential. We got to see a couple things on the field first, before we can actually judge it. So I know you kind of like you talked about this in one of your videos. I don't know if you did, but what's one player that you think needs to break out on offense and defense? One player that like needs to break out, whether it be JJ or Sig Whiteside or anyone.
No, no. JJ Arcega Whiteside need to go. Like I it, I know that we got new coaches, I'm drifting away from the question, but real quick, you triggered me with the Arcega Whiteside. Like, well, I know we got new coaches, but he's a bum. Like it's like Nate. That's like Nate Gary still being on the team and be like, we got new coaches. He was a bum before that. That wasn't the reason. Like Arcega Whiteside reminds me of Matt Collins. Two bums that you should have been gone, but you somehow you got picked in the second round, which we just took you too high. That's why you got picked that high. But all right, well, you got your chance, and it's too late. So I mean, everybody, in my opinion, on that roster, including Trayvon Grimes, is better than JJ Arcega-Whiteside, and I think Trayvon Grimes is a better version of Arcega-Whiteside. So no, not him. Jalen Reagor, he needs to break out because again, with him, I think he has potential, but he him being bad was his fault too. He was misused, but also he was lazy. That wasn't 4.2 speed for one that I saw, and it's to the point where I don't even know if he could. I wouldn't have known that he could run that if it wasn't for looking at college film, and he was just blowing past people. I'm like, that looked like 4.2 speed to me. So why isn't he doing that? But so yeah, he need to actually like take it more serious, or he could go too. And we got a replacement in the slot that could take your place in Quez Watkins. So like he need to wake up.
Man. I know what LGB said. He said I'm ignoring the chat. No, I have a special guest, so I'm really trying to look at the chat and focus on the special guest. But
No, we can answer questions with them too.
yeah,
It's fine. I
hmm
can't I
yeah,
can't see it, so I'm not.
yeah.
So
My bad, chat. I'm just trying to focus like on both things right now. But what's one player that you think needs to break out on defense?
um, I know a lot of people say Slay, but honestly, I think that was coaches. All the corners. I think
Barnett, maybe.
Barnett damn near like Arcega Whiteside to me. He damn near like Josh Sweat been outperforming you every time that he got in. Like you damn near got to go too, because like I can't remember what it was. He's been worse than Cox. Like except Cox has a resume to back him up. Yeah, all you got is a Super Bowl recovery of a fumble. Which Brandon Graham forced. So you kind of you kind of in the background too. I'm gonna say Maddox. Maddox has been. I feel like, and I know people going to end up. Some people agree, some people don't, but Maddox has been affected by coaches to me. When he first came, now people forget when Maddox first came, he was a breath of fresh air. When Jalen Mills was playing and getting beat left and right like a drum, it was Maddox that came in the slot, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, keep him in. And then we got injuries. This was the first year. Then we got injuries to the outside corners. So then he moved to outside. Then he moved to safety, and he excelled at all three of them. And then after that, it was just like we've been trying to use him as this versatile all three. Like he was the best in the slot. So we need to use him there. He was pretty good at safety too, but he wasn't. He was okay at. He was better than Jalen Mills at outside. But ever since we started switching coaches and stuff like that, Maddox has just been used wrong in general. But as far as with Maddox production when he first came in was better than any corner on our roster. And I thought that he was going to be something. Like I thought that it was going to be like, oh man, like okay, he going to be somebody until we started using him stupidly. So I think Maddox will end up being used correctly. It'll be a scheme that supports the cornerbacks going forward. So I think that people are going to end up seeing how good Maddox really is. I think he's fine to be in the slot. We still need a CB2, but as far as the slot, I think Maddox could keep that.
Yeah. So what's good, MG? What's up, man? JDW, I see you in the chat. Bird Gang, I saw you in the chat too. As we're talking about corners here, do you think the Eagles will sign a CB2?
They better.
Yeah, hopefully.
um,
Yeah,
if they do sign one, I'm gonna need that Xavier Howard. Need
yeah.
that Xavier Howard jersey to turn into an Eagles jersey real quick. So, I mean, at my second, I made a video about Steven Nelson until I realized that Xavier Howard is kind of realistic. It's just you got to get rid of Ertz, in my opinion, and if you want to get Howard though, but I still like Steven Nelson. Get both of them. I don't give it but I don't think we need both of them, and I don't think they're going to get both of them. I think Maddox is going to take the slot if we do get Xavier Howard, and if we do get Xavier Howard along with Slay, we got the best secondary in the league easily.
So do you think what, like, let's say the Eagles release Zach Ertz by some means, do you think the Eagles will sign Steven Nelson, or do you think they're going out to trade for Howard?
Knowing the Eagles cheap behinds, they'll probably go and try to get Nelson. But and then on top of that, it's like, who, what are we trading to get Xavier Howard? Because I mean, we got 3 number 1s, we could, but what are the Dolphins going to ask for? Because a cornerback that came off of a 10 interception season, a first ain't going to get it done. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just a first. You got to give a first and something else. Now, do the Dolphins need Ertz? I doubt Ertz will be a deciding factor because honestly, if I was any other team, I would think Ertz is going anyway. So I
Mm-hmm.
would just try to
Yeah.
get him when he go to free agency.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. Like, I feel like we just need to get rid of Ertz because it's not helping our team. And then if we can get Steven Nelson, if we can get Steven Nelson, then it's going to help us because we need a CB2 opposite of Darius Slay. But I wouldn't mind Xavier Howard too because we have 3 firsts next year. So either way, if we get rid of one, it's not going to hurt us because we have to hope Wentz will play. And we have to hope Wentz will play what was it, 75% of the snaps, and
Yeah,
then
or if
yeah,
they have I think if they don't
mhm,
make the playoffs.
yeah,
If they don't make the playoffs, what is it, 70?
yeah, like 70 at least, something like that,
Yeah,
maybe. But yeah, you just hit 120, so let's go. Let's keep getting this guy to, let's keep getting him up there in subscribers. But
I
what are your
appreciate it.
yeah, what are your expectations for this receiving core?
I'm gonna need y'all to do something. Like if I could, you know what? Let me see the light right here. Let me. I'm talking to the receivers. I know that they be looking at these videos. Y'all need to do something. Like I'm tired of seeing what we I'm tired of saying potential. I need Fulgham to change those 4 or 5 games of beast into a whole season. I need. I ain't gonna say nothing about Devontae Smith. He ain't do nothing wrong yet, but keep doing what you doing. Jalen Rager, I got money to catch a flight out there. I'll smack some Eagles players down real quick. You better perform. You better do something. Quez Watkins, it's more for the coaches. They need to just play him. Hightower, don't be an Aguilar. Catch the ball. Yeah, that's what I gotta say. Who else? Trayvon Grimes. Don't don't get the injury bug before you even played.
Mhm.
Don't get the
Yeah.
injury bug before you even played. Now I know it was a surgery, it wasn't an injury, so all right, that's fine. Who else do we got? Is that it?
I think so. It's Watkins, Rager, Hightower. We got Fulgham, Rager, and Smith. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. And I just want to shout out my guy, the sports fury in the chat. If you haven't already subbed these guys up, man, you're out of your mind. Like I can't believe Josh showed up to the chat. But thank you, man. Thank you for your help, man. But
So
like,
yeah,
mm,
I've been looking at his videos too.
yeah,
I think
they are.
they
They got a great channel over there, man. Josh, Sean, those are my guys. Um, but what are your like what is a training camp battle you're excited to see?
linebackers. Linebackers. It's a lot more talent than people think that's there. And even though like they were saying like Eric Wilson is commanding the linebacking group and stuff like that, I feel like that's because the experience factor that played in. Does that necessarily mean he the best? As of right now, based off of accomplishments and achievements, we could say that. But TJ Edwards got a lot of potential. You don't know if it's going to stay that way, where Eric Wilson is the best. Um, I also think Sean Bradley has a chance to show something. Davion Taylor, he got too much speed to not show something. Davion Taylor, people forget. Didn't he run like a 4.3 something, 5, something like that? He was fast. So like he could chase down anybody. And let us find out that Davion Taylor got some coverage skills and it's over. Because he could be covering wide receivers.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's where I just need to see what everybody can do. But as far as the ceiling that everybody has, Singleton, I don't know if his ceiling extends past where he was, but I do think that he's a good, solid complementary piece to everybody else. He not gonna be a Nate Gary facing the wrong way.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Absolutely, man. I think this linebacking core is very young and underrated, and I feel like they need some experience and like they have potential, but that sticks defense has always just been in the like the just always been so annoying to us. Like Jim Schwartz not blitzing enough, and then these linebackers when they get the chance to blitz, they always getting the sack. Like you saw Singleton in that Washington game, he got the sack because of a blitz. And then TJ Edwards in that first Cowboys game, he got the blitz and he got a sack. So, man, I wish we blitzed this year with the new defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. I hope we do. But yeah. My next question for you is: do you think the Eagles should trade Fletcher Cox? And what would you want for him? We kind of talked about that earlier. So, what do you think about that?
I think uh, they should, unless they really think that they're gonna make it somewhere far this year. This year isn't about making it to the Super Bowl. It's about just moving forward from before. Now, I mean, fun fact, like every time that we've been last in the division, we always ended up making the playoffs in the next year. So, I mean, maybe they trying to bank on history. Like
Mhm.
the last time that we went last, besides this time, was the Super Bowl. So,
Mhm.
I mean, as far as like, if they think that we could win now, give Fletcher Cox another chance.
Mhm.
We're under a new coaching staff because it didn't help Fletcher Cox with the fact that Jim Schwartz never liked to send help for the line. So that's
Mhm.
that. But at the same time, I mean, he probably is going to get better with a new coaching staff. But if you don't think that if you're not worried about a Super Bowl title or something like that, let Milton Williams get his reps in,
Mhm.
and then go from there. Get rid of
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox because he's even more overdue than Zach Ertz.
Hmm.
So he hasn't been performing for a while now. It's time to let him go. Give
Hmm.
other people a chance. The favoritism in Philly, they got to stop because
Hmm.
like I don't care. Like Jason Peters, you've been good. Move
Hmm.
on. Like Zach Ertz, same thing. You've been good. Move on. Like we got to keep on moving.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I feel like this team just needs to we just need to get rid of the pieces that aren't going to help us contend. Because we're a young team, we want to contend, and win games. But some of these guys are getting older in age. Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, Ertz, none of these guys we want to go. But at a certain point, we gotta let them go, even though it's gonna rip my heart to see those guys go, man. I don't want to see Fletcher Cox or Jason Kelsey get traded. That would be crazy, but it's gonna have to come here and there. But
Jason Kelsey, I don't want to go. He been performing.
yes, yeah,
He been the anchor to the O line. Age ain't affecting his game. Like if it came to the point that where we had to sign Jason Kelsey right now, or we have to let him go, I would be mad if they didn't sign Jason Kelsey because he's been performing. The reason why the O line doesn't look like straight trash or hot garbage is because of him. So and he
yeah,
ain't even the biggest person on the line. He just know what to do.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm so happy we got Landon Dickerson too, because Kelsey, of course, this year he's going to be our center, but we just want to like appreciate what we have in Jason Kelsey and get the time with him because Landon Dickerson, we're trying to groom him so he can be our future center of the future. But Kelsey's always been a warrior. He's been the anchor of our offensive line. He's the strongest piece on there. I don't want to see him go, but at a certain point, some of these guys are gonna have to go, whether we like it or not. So yeah. What are your expectations for Miles Sanders this year? And do you think he'll be a Pro Bowler?
um, Miles Sanders. Oh,
Yeah.
I think Miles Sanders is he's already he already top five to me. He just wasn't used. Every time he's been used, if you look at the stats and anybody who would try to fight somebody on saying that Miles Sanders is a top five running back in the league, look at the stats for when he was in. Don't look at the stats end of season to end of season because he wasn't used as much as these other people. But as far as yards per carry, wasn't it Derrick Henry? I forget who the second one, but Miles Sanders was number three for yards per carry for when he was playing.
Yeah.
And like that's why the numbers don't add up. When like it's just when he gets the ball, he's not one of these like even Saquon Barkley. I love Saquon Barkley. I think he a all pro too. I ain't jumping size, people. Relax. But I think that he's a good person too. But he's one of them people where he hit home runs, but he do a lot of 2 2 yard runs, 2 yard runs, 2 yard run, up 80 yard run. Miles Sanders is like he keep on gashing you over and over. And that's why what we have been missing was that bruiser back where now we got the Carry On Johnson. Kenneth Gainwell could do it too. Jordan Howard could do it too. I think Kenneth Gainwell is going to make the team. I don't know which one, Jordan Howard or Carry On Johnson, but that's what he was needing because he'll gas you and gas you. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like when them short yardage situations come up, he's not that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Boston Scott damn sure ain't that guy. So
Yeah.
it's like I think now that he's in a situation where the run game is going to be a prominent thing, he about to be a Pro Bowler, probably
Mhm.
most likely top five running back in the league. With
Yeah. So Josh says he really loves Sanders' game. I completely agree with him. He's an agile back. He's fluid, and you said it best. The yards per carry last year what he ranked the in the league at the top. He said what was called he was at like 6.2, 6.3 yards per carry that in like 3 to 4 games where he kept getting the ball, and when he kept getting the ball he kept doing things with the ball. The Saints game, Steelers game, the Ravens game, you saw in all of those games.
Yeah,
He
but
exploded because yeah,
Bird game
he
31
exploded.
said
Yeah.
Miles had more yards with less carries than Henry had last year against top 10 defenses. That's what you get when you keep giving him the ball. Then you end up, now we not talking about Henry. We talking about Miles Sanders if you keep giving him the ball. But when you only give him the ball less than 10 times, I made a video about that where it's like, you give him the ball less than 10 times a game. I don't care if you got a scrub at running back. You're supposed to run him more than 10 times. Like,
Mhm.
okay, let him be the reason why you could say we didn't get rushing yards, not because you didn't use them. Because then what are you doing? There's like are you playing football or are you experimenting? Because that's the type of thing that I would say a team is experimenting by. You know what? Let's try to not run, let's try to run less than 10 times and see if we could do something. Like, that's an experiment that never worked. So I don't even know
Mhm.
why they wasn't doing that in the first place. So
Mhm. Yeah, we have to feed Sanders because every single time he gets the ball, he's very consistent with it. And not you said I was talking about it. The yards per carry, he had 6.3, in like 3 or 4 games. So if he played the entire season, he would have had at least 6.3 yards. And not to mention, he had more than Nick Chubb, and that's
mhm.
Nick Chubb. So that's gonna be hard to beat a guy like Nick Chubb in yards per carry, and he did that in 3 to 4 games. So
Yeah.
if injuries weren't a problem, he would have had more yards per carry than Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry, and he would have led the league. So if he could have ranked third and he missed a couple games, that's impressive to me. Um, Let me go to the next question. What is your thoughts with the competition thing for the Eagles this year?
I like it. I like it. Do I believe it? Halfway. Every team says competition, but like, for example, Hurts and Flacco.
Yeah.
If Flacco starts, I'm gonna have to fly to the stadium. Somebody gotta get hit because ain't no way that Hurts got beat out. I don't care if they do say that Flacco
Mhm.
won the job hands down and all that. You lying.
Mhm. Yeah.
Flacco was terrible. I don't even know. I had a
Mhm.
hey.
Yeah.
Flacco was not even good before this year to get. We paid him more than what got paid last year for a season where he never won a game.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think I think to go even further than that, he only played in one, and then he got benched, didn't he? Or was that Mariota? But
I think wait, Flacco for the
yeah,
Raiders game?
Flacco.
Yeah, I think he got benched for I don't know if he got benched. He got benched for Darnold, like the week 4, week 5, something like that. In the Jets for the Jets.
That's
I
one of
don't
them.
know.
Like
Yeah,
when
I don't
you say that,
yeah.
that's like one of them things where you just look and don't say anything. He
Yeah.
got benched by Darnold, for Darnold.
Mhm.
Come on,
Yeah.
like and I wish somebody would say Darnold is better than Hurts. He ain't even
Mhm.
better than Hurts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that ain't a
Mhm.
competition. But
Yeah.
as far as competition, even that left tackle, I don't feel like it's um, necessary to have a competition there because Mailata cemented himself. He's been playing above average. Even when Dillard was playing, it wasn't up to the level of Mailata. And Mailata came so far. It's like if Dillard do win the job, what you doing with Mailata? Like, you putting him at right tackle? Like, we already got somebody there. Now, granted, we don't know if he's gonna stay healthy, Lane Johnson, but I feel like Dillard should be playing for the chance to be the best backup in the NFL at left tackle. I feel like Mailata already proved himself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when they came out with that article where it was like they even in this competition, whoever better in training camp wins. It's like you just threw out everything that Mailata did up until this point. So competition there, I feel like there shouldn't be there. Where
Mm-hmm.
I think competition should be is linebacker, cornerback, even safety, like um, like those type of places. But it's some places wide receiver, but it's some places where it's just it shouldn't be. There's no need.
Um, my next question for you is what's like your like stat prediction for Jalen Rager this year?
I say 500 yards and 5 touchdowns because
Five.
he's not a number one.
I
So
agree. Yeah.
I mean the Devontae Smith is going to be the one that's going to be getting those targets as a number one. So Jalen Rager, he's going to be splitting it with the number two, and I do think that he's going to create some mismatches and stuff like that. But we got so many people on the team that he going to be um, helping out just by his presence. If he uses his speed, his presence alone is going to open up a lot of people. So it's like he's splitting it with Goddard. He's splitting it with whoever the second one is going to be. Um, yeah, he even freeing up Miles Sanders. Um, so it's just I think 500. It might sound low, but 500 with 5 touchdowns. But his impact, I feel like, would be more so helping spread out the defense. Where it's like now all of a sudden you don't know you don't know the defense got a little more guessing games of who going to get the ball.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like I agree with you where you say they're gonna have to guess who's gonna get the ball. I think Rager he's gonna get more end around fakes. Because last year they tried to use him in that end around fake. Where the Saints game he had that end around. He like took it like the opposite like left side. I think he did it on in the Saints game and then he took it and he went for like 18 yards. So if we keep using him with those end arounds, especially now, there's more traction and more guys on the field. It's going to create more mismatches. You have Smith, who is very good. Fulgham, you got Goddard, Sanders, Hart's in the backfield with Sanders. And then you got Johnson in the backfield. Kenneth Gainwell. You have all these guys that can do so much for the Eagles, and I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a very good season on the offense. We got a question in the chat. So JDW says, "Do you think the Eagles had trouble trading Ertz because of how poorly they handled the Carson Wentz trade?"
I think they have trouble trading Ertz because it's so obvious. Like the Carson Wentz thing was handled poorly, but it wasn't it wasn't obvious until controversy came that Carson Wentz had to go, and it still wasn't even obvious then because it was like people probably were questioning, are they really about to take that cap hit with Carson Wentz? Ertz is more clear. Like it's like you could save money by letting him go. He don't want to be there, and it's just at that point it's like if I'm a team that's looking to possibly get Ertz, I would be stupid to give you anything. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he's going to be there, and I'll take my chances and wait. So, if the reason why I think they have a hard time trading Ertz is because that's not the type of player you trade for. That's the type of player you wait. And okay, I like now I'm gonna catch you in free agency, and you didn't come off a good year, so now I'm about to hit you with the minimum and then have you doing a prove it deal because you old. So it's just like that's why
I
I think it is.
totally agree, man. Like The Eagles, like every single team that wants Ertz, they all have the leverage against the Eagles because Ertz, he doesn't go for that much. So if you're gonna trade for Ertz, you can do so many things with that. Because the Eagles, they're gonna ask for much, but the other team knows that all they have to do is get Ertz through Eagles cutting him. So they're gonna wait because the Eagles are gonna get desperate at times, and that's gonna make something. That's gonna make teams worried, and then they're gonna get off of it. Like the Bills did, they were on Ertz, and then they were back off of Ertz because the Eagles wanted so much for him, but they knew what his real value was. So I think it makes sense that other teams have leverage over Ertz. But Joey Shakes has said this, and I completely agree with him. He said that if Ertz gets cut, he's going to the Colts. I completely agree with him. The
I was
Colts
just about
makes so
to.
much
I
sense.
was thinking in my head, like, watch when he does get cut. Watch how many of those teams who once were in and then they out. Watch the Bills go crazy for him. Watch the Colts go crazy for him. He might not get a minimum based off of his performance just because of how many teams are actually going to be looking at him as a person that they want to pick up. I think the Bills and the Colts are going to go into a little bidding war over him as soon as he get cut. But right now, it's no point. It's no point. It's just wait and let it play out. And he probably will go to the Colts because he got a familiar quarterback, and the Colts are, I wouldn't say way more set up than the Bills, but they're set up to make a run. The Bills are too, but you already got that chemistry with Carson Wentz. So
I completely agree with you. I don't think Chris Ballard is a guy like the Colts GM. JDW even said it in the chat. He's a stingy. My bad for the little autocorrection, but he said he's stingy. I heard a lot of Colts fans saying that their GM is stingy. And he's a GM that doesn't really like to overspend on guys. He doesn't want to always go out there and get a guy. He can just do it through the draft, and he does it good. So if he sees that Ertz is out on the trade market, he gets cut. Then they're all over him.
he
So
like
they're smart in their head.
he like Howie Roseman just with good trading skills because Roseman is cheap too. That's why I don't think we're going to get Xavier Howard, even though I'd rather have him over Steven Nelson. I think that if he ends up freeing up the money, he's going to take Steven Nelson because he want to keep everything that he got. Now, yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why they not the Colts aren't trading for Ertz now because it's like if he's stingy, why? This is not the time to be throwing the house at the Eagles for a player that ain't going to be on there anyway. So if I'm the Colts GM, I'm doing exactly what they're doing. I'm gonna just sit there and wait. He gonna go.
Yeah, he's gonna go. At a point, the Eagles are gonna get too tired of just looking to trade him, so they're gonna be like, "We're gonna save $8.5 million in cap space. So if he goes to another team like the Colts or Bills, they're in the AFC, so we won't have to face them unless we face them this season. Which we face the AFC East this season. I don't think we do. So other than the Jets, maybe I think we face them. That's the only AFC East team we're facing. So I don't think it will matter as much because if you look at the Eagles over the like past couple of years, they faced the Colts. They haven't faced the Colts at all yet. So next year they'll face them, and that's the only time they'll face them. So why would it matter to cut Zach Ertz when you could just save $8.5 million in cap space and then get Steven Nelson, which you need a cornerback. It's just so frustrating at times because Howie just, oh my God, I don't want to get too mad on live, but Howie pisses me off. You don't understand how many Eagles fans get pissed off by this dude. He's stingy, and right now is not the time to be stingy because we can sign Steven Nelson, free up $8.5 million in cap space, and I don't know why the Eagles haven't done it yet. It pisses me off.
He's
Um,
stingy, and then what he does, what he ends up being stingy with. Um, what's up, Coach Dante?
hey,
Um,
what's up,
when
man?
what he ends up being stingy with, he don't even know how to use it. How you be stingy and you know what? I'm not giving you no draft picks or nothing like that. And you pass on a good player, but then when you do get the draft pick, you know what? We gonna get a JJ Arcega Whiteside. That umbrella look nice. Like,
Mhm.
on, like what you doing?
Hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. They, dude, there was so many definites that the Eagles could have done over the past couple of years. You could have taken Justin Jefferson. We saw what he did last year. We could have took DK Metcalf the year before. We could have done that, and we didn't still. So it's crazy. Don said, "What's good, JDW? I see you talking in the chat a lot." He says the Eagles will always find a way to beat the Colts. So I don't know. I think you guys are just a little better than us. Um,
I don't know. I don't recall the Colts being like compared to the Giants with us.
yeah, yeah. What's one player you think should? Well, not that. Who's your favorite coaching signing for the Eagles this season in Nick Sirianni's coaching staff?
Um, Anthony Harris. I think.
No, not signing. I meant like hiring, like the coaching hires. Yeah,
Um,
you're good, man. You're
yeah,
good. Gannon.
like Gannon, like he already made the biggest impact so far out of all of the coaches because of him bringing over a talent that for cheap. He kind of did Howie Roseman's job for him a little bit with how he got people to just come over. They just want to play. Anthony Harris and Eric Wilson is not somebody that you would have gotten for that deal had you not had him. So I think with that, I think it's Jonathan Gannon.
Completely, I 1000% agree with you. Gannon, he is my guy, man. This dude has fire energy. He has hectic energy. His energy is through the roof. That's something the Eagles need because last year Schwartz, he wasn't really a hyper guy. He was just always serious. So I think he's gonna be more of like a hyper guy who gets his players going. And I think him and Tracy Rocker, our defensive line coach, are very hyper and they're always energetic. So our defense is going to look more improved this year. In the secondary, it's a little iffy, but we're going to be more improved when we're being serious and energetic. And some of these players need it.
Well, another thing too is I think that the good thing about Jonathan Gannon is he showed that he has the smarts to teach players also and develop players because we also had a coaching hire that was similar where he had all of the energy in the world, Marquand Manuel, but I don't hear about him no more. Yeah, he was hyped, but then look at what the cornerbacks did like last year. Nobody was developing, so you could be as hype as you want to be, but if you just noise and ain't no actions being had, then you could just be hyped somewhere else. That's a cheerleader. that's not a coach.
Yeah.
So I think Gannon showed that way, that where like he capable of developing people because he has a track record of it from before.
And he also did it with Xavier Rhodes and any other cornerback that he developed. He made them better. Anthony Harris, he probably wouldn't have been that good if it wasn't for Gannon. Because Gannon, not he was in the Vikings before he went to the Colts. And then Anthony Harris when he was on the Vikings and Gannon was on the Vikings. He was the cornerbacks coach. He was the like secondaries coach, and he was developing these players. And Xavier Rhodes, Anthony Harris, all these players benefited from Jonathan Gannon. And I think that's something the Eagles need because they need guys that can develop players. And I'm excited about Gannon. But how do you feel about the media writing us off this year? They just disrespecting us.
It's normal. It's just like Like I just did a video just that recently where about the media where like what Adam Schefter said, for example, where he said that we are in the best position to get Deshaun Watson, and then everybody flipped it. All the other media flipped it and was like, the Eagles are going after Deshaun Watson. That's not what they said. It's like people try to create their own narratives for the Eagles, and it's like even the Super Bowl year, all the way up to the Super Bowl, they ended up creating the narrative that at first it was they dumpster fire, they ain't gonna do nothing. Then in the middle of the year it was, well, they they are they just playing soft teams, which we kind of were that year. But then we get into the playoffs, we beating some people. Yeah, but they ain't gonna make it all. Like people just for some reason love to create narratives for Philly, and I think it's because the fans eat it up. Like because it's not. It's some fan bases they not gonna go with the media on everything that they say. They just, like if you end up saying Carson Wentz got problems in the locker room to the Colts fans right now, there's plenty of things like Carson Wentz playing basketball with the team, stuff like that, that would show you otherwise, that would make them be like, I ain't believing that. But you say that to a Philly fan, Jalen Hurts got problems with the team. After all the stuff that we saw positive, people still find a way to be like, see, that's why we should have got rid of him. Like, it's just like, no, like, we got to stop running with the media's BS things, because we have a history, we have a reputation in the media's mind for running with their stories. So we like marketers for them. So we need to stop doing that, and maybe they'll stop making up stories. But yeah, it's normal.
Absolutely, man. It's like every year they just down us. Um, it's gonna be impacted on that field. They're gonna regret what they said. Jalen Hurts, he's gonna prove them wrong. He's gonna prove everyone that's disrespecting him wrong. I think Jalen Hurts will have a really good season this year. I'll say he has about 25 to 14 interceptions, 25 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. I think Hurts is going to have a good season, and the media is writing every single player on this team off because they know the one year that we're bad, they're going to jump on us. But if it was that Super Bowl season, no one was jumping on us because they knew we were good. So yeah, and we proved everyone wrong until that Wentz got injured, and then they were saying all this stuff. So it's kind of skeptical to me why they say these things when we suck. Yeah, so it's always the media doing media things. But what's a perfect season for you when it comes to the Eagles this season?
Um, finding finding out everybody's potential
Mhm.
that we need to find out about, like finding out about um, Travis Fulgham, Quez Watkins, whoever is on the team. I want to know what they can do so that next year when we go to do the um, when we have those three first rounds, we not just sitting there looking at, well, like we still want to get a cornerback because we don't know what Zach McPherson can do. Well, we should have found that out last year. Like that's
Mhm.
what I would be saying at that point. Like I need to know what everybody can do so we can make the draft picks accordingly. And if we find out what everybody can do, then in the same process we should be able to win a lot of games, because let's say Travis Fulgham is what the flash that he was last year, and we got Devontae Smith and
Mhm.
Jalen Rager ends up like being average, where like 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's a hell of a wide receiver core right there. Like,
Yeah.
if they live up to their potential, and that's not even
Mhm.
including Miles Sanders and everything like that. And I think Jonathan Gannon, I think the coaches also, I want to see what their potential is. Can Gannon actually develop players? Can all these coaches actually develop players like what we never did? So
Mhm.
if that could happen, then yeah. I think that we actually will win a lot of games. Like I think I got us going 12-5, and
Hmm.
partially is because six of them is in our division. I don't nobody I'm scared of in our division. Um, and then you got it's really not anybody like the Saints ain't anybody that I'm scared of. You don't got Drew Brees, so it's like I don't know. It's not that many teams on our roster on our record. I feel like we a sleeper.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. I think we are a sleeper because no one is giving us the benefit of the doubt. Even though our team is talented, and I feel like we're going to be better than what people expect this year. And I love our coaching staff and what they're talking about. But until I see something on the field, from players and coaches, then I'm gonna start really knowing who this team is, because those first three games, no one's going to know what we're doing because it's a whole new scheme and everything. That's like a new head coach coming into a system, and then he's putting everything in there, but no one knows what we're doing because Sirianni is a new head coach. He
Is
needs
the Chiefs
established new scheme.
first three?
What's up?
Isn't the Chiefs a part of the first three?
The first, no, they're in the first four. They're week four. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
that's that. I want those type of teams early.
Hmm. Yeah, we also play the Bucks.
Three,
Um,
right?
yeah, he's the Bucks we play. Um,
I think they back to back. I think it's the Bucks and then the Chiefs.
yeah.
That,
Yeah, we play the Chiefs week four, and then we play the Panthers week five. And then we play the Bucks week six, I
uh,
think. Yeah. So I don't know if it's back to back, but I think it's them week four and then the other one week six. But as we're talking about Sirianni, what was your thoughts on the Sirianni pickup?
it's not as bad as everybody was saying. Yeah, again, the people took the media and ran with it with the Sirianni hire, where everybody is saying like, well, Sirianni doesn't have any coaching experience. Like we picked somebody that didn't even call plays and stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, I always tell people when they say like, oh, he never called plays and he doesn't have coaching experience. You just described Belichick. Belichick did not
Mhm.
call plays before but went to the Patriots, and he did not have coaching experience before that, and he ended up doing what he does.
Mhm.
I uh, uh, Frank Reich, Frank Reich didn't call plays. It was Doug Peterson, and yeah, sometimes you be like, I wish he did call plays over Doug Peterson, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's like just because as long as they learned from a person who has success, in my opinion, I think that they will have the best track record. They have the best track record of being successful as coaches.
Mhm. Yeah. So we got three more questions here because I don't want to waste your time. I know you're a busy dude, so we don't want to waste anyone's time here. But we got three more questions here. So what are your biggest concerns for the Eagles this year?
Um, moving too fast on people, moving too
Mhm.
fast on Jalen Hurts. We're not expecting Jalen Hurts to have a outrageous MVP season. If he ends up having 25 touchdowns, some people were saying 20 touchdowns and what was it, 10 interceptions or something like that. No, I don't. It's 17 games. That's damn near a touchdown a game. You better do more than that. But like, if he had like 25 to 30 touchdowns, and he even had like 12 interceptions, that's fine. That's his first year.
Mhm.
His
Yeah.
last year wasn't his first year. This is his first year, so
Mhm.
that's fine. If we end up moving on from him from that, you just
Your mic like that. Oh, your mic
All
in
right,
there.
my bad. Can you hear me?
All right, now I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. I think. Hey, what's up? What's up, B Sports Sock? How you doing, my guy? I see you in there trolling me. I see you, man. But how's your day been? But yeah, I completely agree with you. Eagles Powerhouse Nation. I think we can't move on players too early. Because if we're just looking at the future, just it's not good. I think um we should be looking at what we have right now before we're already looking at the future. Yes, we understand that we have 3 first round picks, but we want to win this year too, so we can move on and build for the future. I just want to see like what we can do next year, because I don't want Watson yet, because if the allegation situations aren't fixed, then I don't think it's going to be him. I hope Hurts breaks out, because that's 3 first round picks that we have, and if he breaks out, then we can build around him for the future. I agree with you in that standpoint. But how are you feeling about this division, my guy?
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy. But it's it's easy all around. We need to actually step up what we do. Now we we've been pretty good about bouncing back. Like I said, every time that we've been last in the division, we end up bouncing back and becoming a playoff team again.
Hmm.
And like I said, last time was in the Super Bowl. That's how we came back from being last. So we gotta come back and do what we do again, and we'll win easily because Cowboys haven't showed up since brick phones, and the
Yeah.
Giants.
That's crazy. Yeah.
We ain't never worried about the Giants, and yeah, the Washington ended up picking up and everything like that. But they where they messed up was instead of getting the actual quarterback, they got Fitztragic. So yeah, kind of messed up with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got one more question here for you. And then we'll wrap it up. But other than the Devontae Smith pick, what was your favorite pick for the Eagles this year? And B, no, 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 no. The Cowboys are not winning the division, boy. They're finishing last.
We
Just
hear that
playing.
every single year. It's fine.
Yeah.
Every single year, the media even tries to hype them up
Yeah.
and be like they Super Bowl favorites. They probably Super Bowl favorites this year. But
Mhm.
as far as I remember, like I said, phones with the antennas. So
Yeah.
like with the big buttons, Jurassic Park
Mhm.
phones, like the
Yeah.
pay phones.
25 years they haven't won a Super Bowl, and he's a Packers fan saying that. You should show some love. You should show some love for us, not the Cowboys. But other than, yeah, I was gonna ask you, other than the Devontae Smith pick, what was your favorite pick?
Um, the other than the Devontae Smith one, Kenneth Gainwell. I felt like Kenneth Gainwell because we needed that. We needed somebody in the behind Miles Sanders that wasn't average. I don't. Boston Scott to me has always been a knockoff Darren Sproles. Ever since Darren Sproles left, then all of a sudden we try and replace him, but we tried to do it with Donnell Pumphrey. That didn't work out. Then we ended up getting Boston Scott. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, he better than Donnell Pumphrey, so we just gonna go with him. And we went with him for way too long. Like it's about time we try to give somebody else a turn. So
My bad. I was muted. He said our receiving core, and like our receiving core, he doesn't trust it, and we can't ever stay healthy. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't say I don't trust the wide receiving core. I just think that we have question marks on how good they could be, but it's good question marks because everybody shows something. Quez Watkins, he showed something. Like Fulgham, he showed something. It's just that we had the veteran favoritism at the time where we put Jeffrey back in, but we just got questions. I wouldn't say that we don't trust them because we don't know them, and we can never stay healthy. I mean, you got to let them have that one. We can't, but it's a new year, and the way that I would answer back at that, I don't mind trash talking. The way I would answer back at that is
Coming from a Packers
y'all can
fan.
stay healthy and y'all do the same thing. So what does that say? So I mean, it is what it is. It's all fun though. It's all fun though.
Mm-hmm.
I respect them for repping his team.
Yeah. I think what's it called? I think our receiving core is very improving. Because some of these guys from last year, they showed what they can do, but we didn't get to see enough of them. Guys like Rager, Watkins, Hightower, we didn't get to see enough of them. So we really can't judge until we see something on that field. So I get where he's coming from, but I think Smith is going to be our number one wide receiver this season. And to be honest, I think he's going to be the best rookie receiver in the NFL this season, better than Chase this year and better than Waddle this year because he's going to be the number one receiver. Those guys are going to be the number one, the number two, the number three because Chase has Boyd, he has Boyd, Higgins, Mixon, and then the Dolphin side for Waddle, he has Gasecki, he has Parker, he has Fuller. Those guys, yeah, I can't
I
see it.
think Waddle has it worse than
Hmm.
Chase because Mixon is not. You said Mixon?
Yeah, I said Mixon, Higgins, and Boyd.
I think Higgins the only one that would take time away from him. Everybody else, I don't see. I think Waddle has a little more of an uphill battle, but Devontae Smith, yeah, he in the perfect situation because you are the number one. So it's like, yeah, eh, you can't get better than that. You're going to be targeted. So
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is the end of the stream. EPN, thank you for coming on this stream. I really appreciate you for hopping on and taking the time with me. And B, that's very biased. He's a Minnesota fan, I think. What was he like a Wisconsin fan? So he watched Bateman for like 3-4 years. So he think
I
Bateman is better than Smith, but he's just
I
playing
say
around.
I say this.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I'm gonna ignore the Bateman better than Smith thing, but
he's
I
not. He's not. Not wait. EPN. He's not. But he didn't think he's better than him. He just got a bias for Bateman. Me too. I have a big bias for Bateman. I watched him for a long time. Yeah.
I think Bateman is better than Kadarius Toney. I would have took Bateman over Kadarius Toney where he was picked. I thought that Kadarius Toney wasn't even a second round, a first round pick. So I would have took Bateman before that. So like I like how Bateman plays, like just like he does, but he ain't better than no damn Devontae Smith.
So I completely agree with you. Um, I'm excited about this season for the Eagles. Bateman, he is one of my favorite receivers. In last year's past draft, I think he was better than Tony. I think he was a top four receiver in my opinion. Now I don't know if I would have took him over the three receivers, Chase, Smith, and Waddle. But he is still one of the best receivers in the draft. He opted out and he was balling out. He was putting up ridiculous numbers.
I would say that him it's a tie at fourth. After those three were going, it should have been either Bateman
Hmm.
or it should have been Marshall. I think Terrace Marshall was more than qualified to be in the first round over a lot of the people that were picked in the first round, because it's like he still managed to shine even next to Chase and stuff like that. And if it wasn't for Chase being on LSU, Marshall would have like Marshall is one of them people where it's like, yeah, you going to end up doing something that's going to catch people off guard. So
Yeah.
I think it would have been. I think Bateman's slightly better than Marshall, but I think it's close.
Very close. I would take Bateman because he's my guy. I'm not gonna put a bias on him. I know B Sports Talk likes him too. If you haven't already subbed to him, go sub him up. Great Packers fan. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you for coming on EPN one more time. Shout out to your channel and what you do. I'll put his links in the description. Go sub him up and go check him out on Twitter. But say your last things before we wrap it up on here.
Yeah, like you said, um, sub me up. It's only the beginning. I started about a month ago, and yeah, I got way more in store and everything. So it's I'm gonna just keep on keeping on. So this ain't gonna be the first time that this ain't gonna be the last time that I'm probably on Big Play Slaves channel. So I mean,
More in the future, man. More.
yeah.
We gonna do way more. Yeah. It's not the last time. Maybe next time I will be on his channel. So yeah. So go check this guy out. He's a great Eagles content creator. I've been watching his videos. So go check him out. Also put his Twitter link. So go check him out there. But we are out. Have a good one, y'all. Peace out.
Also one more thing too. Check out my video tomorrow. I have a live with JC Eagles Talk. I know you know who he is, but I have a live with JC Eagles Talk also tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. So check that out too.
So go check it out. We're wrapping it up here. Get this guy to 200. Let's get this guy in the 200 club. He hit 100 like a month ago, right? Something like that. But yeah, go check this guy out. Yeah. Go check this guy out. We are out. Peace out to the chat. We had like 18 likes on the stream. So thank you for everyone that hit the like and subscribe. Turn on those notices. We are out, everyone. Peace.
All right.